Imagine a bustling marketplace in medieval England, where a humble apple vendor finds himself in a dispute with a customer over the price of a bushel of apples. No written contracts, no clear rules. The matter is taken to the local court, the decision made forms a precedent, and voila, a principle of English common law is born. Our first stop is the principle of stare decisis, a Latin term meaning to stand by things decided. This principle is the bedrock of common law, where decisions of higher courts bind the lower courts. This means, if our apple vendor dispute had been decided by a high court, similar disputes in the future would use this case as a reference. This principle brings consistency and predictability in the law, ensuring that similar cases receive similar treatment. Next is the principle of ratio decidendi, or the reason for the decision. It embodies the legal reasoning or rule applied by the court to arrive at a decision. In the case of our apple vendor, the ratio decidendi could be a rule about fair pricing or trade practices. This principle is crucial as it forms the binding part of a judicial decision. Our third principle, obiter dictum, translates to a remark by the way. These are comments or observations made by a judge that, although included in the court's decision, do not form a part of the binding precedent. So, if the judge in our apple vendor's case made a passing comment about the quality of apples, that would be an obiter dictum. Then, there's the principle of precedent, the core of common law, which means that a decision made in a previous case is considered as a precedent that judges must follow in future cases with similar circumstances. So, if another apple vendor ends up in a dispute, the decision in our initial case would serve as a precedent. Lastly, we have the principle of equity, which was developed parallel to common law to address its rigidity and occasional harshness. Equity allows judges to use their discretion and make decisions based on fairness. So, if the strict application of common law would lead to an unfair outcome for our apple vendor, the principle of equity could intervene to ensure justice is served. Let's take a moment to revisit the key principles of English common law we've discussed today. Stare decisis, the principle of standing by things decided, ensures consistency and predictability in the law. Ratio decidendi, the reason for the decision, lays the foundation for the legal reasoning behind judgments. Obiter dictum, a remark by the way, allows judges to express thoughts that might not directly impact the case at hand, but can influence future decisions. Precedent is the principle that past decisions guide future ones, creating a continuity in the law. Equity, the principle that ensures fairness in the application of the law, balances the rigidity of law with the needs of justice. These principles are not just historical artifacts, they are living, evolving ideas that continue to shape our legal landscape, making our laws responsive and relevant to the changing needs of society. So, as we navigate our world, it's worth remembering how these enduring principles of English common law underpin the rules that guide us.